everyone, this is Karen.
Hey everybody, this is Shane.
Today we're looking at part 1 of Conserving Water through
New technology and lifestyle changes.
And the vocabulary words are resource.
Resource.
Oil is a resource that most countries around the world rely on.
Crop.
Crop.
The farm's main crops are corn, wheat, and cotton.
Moisture.
Moisture.
We are trying to fix the moisture problem in our basement.
Atmosphere.
Atmosphere.
Earth's atmosphere is made up of a number of different gases.
Humidity.
Humidity.
Taiwan's heat and humidity cause many people to feel uncomfortable during the summer months.
Especially me.
I love it.
Efficient.
Efficient.
Julia showed her sister a more efficient way to pack luggage.
So we're talking about conserving water through new technology. So I know recently Taiwan has been having a lot of water shortage problems.
That's right.
And which is really, really serious because we all know that we need water for many, many things.
So the new technology is called atmospheric water generation.
AWG.
It sounds pretty fancy.
It is fancy.
Right? But actually the concept is quite simple, and I think everybody would be familiar with how this works.
Okay.
Because I think a lot of people own a dehumidifier.
Especially in Taiwan.
Because in Taiwan it's so humid, and the dehumidifier, the way that it works is it kind of pulls the moisture out of the room or the atmosphere.
That's right.
And then it cools it, and that will form water droplets, and then you see the water collects inside a bin or something.
Or container.
A container within the machine.
That's right.
So that is the new technology that they're talking about here.
It's very similar,
Right.
but they're still working on more ways to make it more efficient and more affordable.
Yeah. Okay, let's learn more about this new technology.
AWG.
Enjoy.
Enjoy.
Conserving water through new technology and lifestyle changes. As Taiwan's recent water shortage has reminded us all, water is the most valuable resource on our planet. We need it to drink, clean our bodies, grow our crops, and even build cars. Luckily, there's a new technology that might allow us to produce water from moisture in the air.
Hello everyone and welcome to Live Interactive English. I'm Mike.
I'm Kim.
Well, Kim, it is the middle of the summer here in Taiwan, and as you know, as I know, water has really been in the news this year.
It has, and maybe not in such a good way either.
No, I guess it's never really good if water's in the news. We might have too much of it because of typhoons and floods, but
Yes.
that hasn't been the story this year, especially in the spring. We had too little of it.
Yes, we had what's called a drought, which is when there's a lack of water and we don't have enough, and this can be bad news for lots of people.
Yeah, a few years ago it was in the north of Taiwan in the summer in Taipei. We had a water shortage, but recently it's been central Taiwan
Yes.
that hasn't been getting the rain it needs. And so they are running out of water because people need water, companies need water, business needs water, farmers need water. We all need water, but if we don't have enough of it, it makes big problems in many areas of life. So we're going to be learning about conserving water through new technology and lifestyle changes. And if that first word is confusing to you, it means saving water.
Yes.
That's what we have to be doing.
And as our article says, as Taiwan's recent water shortage has reminded us all, water is the most valuable resource on our planet.
Yeah.
It's true.
It is. I mean, oil, gold, these things are all valuable and important, sure. But without water, we can't live. And so it doesn't matter how much oil is in your car or gold is on your fingers if you're dying because you don't have water. It's a very important resource. Now, a resource, this is a noun. And basically, a resource is something that can be used to do something else. But the other idea is that maybe we don't have all of this that we can possibly want. It will run out. When we think of resources in the world, we often think of things like oil or something like that. Water is another good resource. Trees are a good resource. We can use trees, we can use oil, water to do all sorts of things with, but we can't waste it because we will run out of oil or trees or water and things like that. Now, there are other things that we could also call a resource. Intelligence, that's a resource. You can use your intelligence and your education to do other things. Time is a resource. You don't have all the time in the world. You know, you got to be efficient. You got to use your time in a smart way. If you run out of time, just like if you run out of water, you will be facing some serious trouble. For example, oil is a resource that most countries around the world rely on. So obviously, as far as resources go on our planet, water is probably the most one. And why? Well, the article says we need it to drink, clean our bodies, grow our crops, and even build cars. Yeah, no, it's absolutely true. Those batteries that we put in new electric cars, they take a lot of water to make and all sorts of other things. Luckily, we read there's a new technology that might allow us to produce water from moisture in the air.
Oh, interesting.
That would be good, yeah.
Wonder how that would work. Well, that would probably be useful for growing crops, as we mentioned. A crop is a plant grown in large amounts, usually used to feed people. We think about things like in our example. The farm's main crops are corn, wheat, and cotton. So when you think about crops, you picture the farm, the farmer on there growing a whole field of corn or wheat, and also cotton can be used for making clothes. So these crops are really, really important, and they need a lot of water.
Absolutely. And if we can get that water from moisture in the air and not from rivers and lakes and rain like we normally do, that would be great, because there's a lot of moisture in the air in Taiwan.
Yes,
right?
there is.
When we say things are humid, H-U-M-I-D, that means the air feels wet. It's not that kind of dry air like you might find in a desert. It's the wet air you might find in Taiwan or in a jungle or something like that. If you go into the bathroom after someone took a shower, there's kind of that steam in the air. That might be moisture too. Or maybe you washed your clothes last night and you're thinking, hey, can I wear that shirt this morning? I don't have another shirt. And you go and touch it. It doesn't feel dry. You're feeling the moisture that's still in your shirt or in those clothings. We're not talking about water. We're not talking about squeezing something and having the water come out. But there is some wetness there. There is some moisture there. For example, we are trying to fix the moisture problem in our basement. The air feels very wet. When you touch the walls, you might feel a little water on your fingers. That's not good in a building.
Very bad for a building.
Moisture coming through your walls. You could have serious problems. All right, guys, let's take a break and we'll be back with more about conserving water.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。我们这2天的课文是要来看看造水新科技以及生活中的省水小 pebble。好，课文第一个段落就写到说，水是地球上最珍贵的资源，我们需要喝水，要用水来洗澡，要种植农作物，甚至是建造车子。那么幸好现在有一项新科技，也许能够让我们从大气中的湿气来制造水哦。好，我们先来看3个单字 ，resource 也可以念作 resource， 它表示资源，是一个名词。那么 crop 表示作物、农作物。那么 moisture 它是指水分、湿气。而补充单字 shortage 就表示短缺、不足的意思。那我们可以用 water shortage 来表达缺水。好，那么 Kim 老师他刚刚则是用到 drought 这个字 D-R-O-U-G-H-T drought 表示旱灾。那接回到课文中。
Conserving water through new technology and lifestyle changes. You might be aware that our planet's atmosphere holds plenty of water moisture. It's this moisture that causes rain, humidity, and clouds. Using new technology called atmospheric water generation, or AWG, scientists have figured out how to actually take that moisture out of the air and turn it into water that is clean enough to drink. Although different forms of AWG exist, the simplest is similar to a dehumidifier or air conditioner. By cooling the air, these machines are able to make the moisture in the air condense to form droplets on a collecting surface.
All right, we're back. And before the break, we found out that there is maybe a new technology used to take the moisture out of the air and create water.
Yeah.
So how can this help us solve our problem?
Well, let's find out. Back in the article, it says, you might be aware that our planet's atmosphere holds plenty of water moisture. Yeah, of course, there's water in the air. We see it as rain, but it's also that humid air, as it says. It's this moisture that causes rain, humidity, and clouds, and fog, and other things like that. So that's water, but it's in the air. It's not in a river or in a lake. It's not easy to get out and pump into a city. It's in the atmosphere.
The atmosphere is the mixture of gases around the Earth. Things like oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen. These are all different kinds of gases that surround the planet. For example, Earth's atmosphere is made up of a number of different gases. Ones that I just named, such as oxygen, which is the most important one for life.
Yeah, nitrogen too. I think most of the atmosphere is also nitrogen. And humidity is basically moisture, like we talked about earlier, but moisture in the air. All right, so if it's a hot day in Taiwan, the air feels very sticky. If you sweat, you don't feel like you're getting cool because the air is already full of a lot of moisture or water, basically. Again, we're not talking about rain that's falling. No, humidity is more the moisture, the wetness, the water in the air that you can't really see. If you're in the desert, there's very little humidity in the desert air. That's why it feels very dry. And if the wind blows, your hot skin will feel cooler. But in the summer in Taiwan, in a tropical place, in a jungle area, somewhere like that, there would be a lot of humidity in the air. For example, Taiwan's heat and humidity cause many people to feel uncomfortable during the summer months. Yeah, if you open a window during the summer here, you're just going to get more humid air coming into your house. Humidity is the noun and humid would be the adjective. It feels very humid because there is a lot of humidity right now.
What's interesting is it can go the other way too. During the winter, when there's a lot of humidity in the air, it can actually feel colder than it really is.
Right.
So humidity is an interesting thing.
Yeah.
Well, using new technology called atmospheric water generation, or AWG, scientists have figured out how to actually take that moisture out of the air and turn it into water that is clean enough to drink.
That's pretty cool. And that would be really good for us in Taiwan because we have a lot of humid air. Interesting. Although different forms of AWG exist, the simplest is similar to a dehumidifier or air conditioner. Yeah, I was kind of thinking your air conditioner, right, in the summer will drip water and the air inside will be cool but also drier than the air outside. So your air conditioner is not only cooling the air, it's dehumidifying or taking that moisture out of the air. It says by cooling the air, these machines are able to make the moisture in the air condense to form droplets on a collecting surface. You ever seen that thing that kind of takes the air, takes the water out of your air conditioner, drips slowly into the drain? Instead of letting it drip into the drain, let's save that water and then use it for good things.
That's an interesting new technology.
I think it just needs some better machines. We already understand how it all works.
True.
All right, let's take a break and we'll be back with more about this interesting technology.
刚刚说有一项新科技，也许能够从大气中的湿气来制造水。那我们来看看是怎么回事。好，地球的大气中呢有大量的水汽，就是这个水汽造就了降雨啊，还有湿度，还有云。那么科学家就运用这种称为空气造水的新科技，那他们已经想出要如何实际的把那个水汽从空气中抽取出来，并且转变成干净到能够饮用的水。我们来看两个单字 ，atmosphere atmosphere， 它表示大气、大气层。这个字也可以用来表达特定场所它的那种空气。好，它的形容词是 atmospheric。Atmospheric 它是形容大气的，我们文中用到 atmospheric water generation 就是用来表达空气造水技术，简称为 AWG。好，那么 Kim 老师在解释单字的时候，他提到 oxygen 就是氧气， nitrogen 就是氮气， hydrogen 就是氢气。好，那么下一个单字是 humidity。humidity 它是用来描述空气中的这个湿度，或者是指潮湿的意思。那这边还有2个重点，第一个是分词构句的用法，我们用对等连接词 and 去连接2个主词相同的子句时，就可以省略 and， 然后省略其中一个主词，然后把它那一句的动词改成分词。如果动词是主动，就用现在分词 VING， 被动就用过去分词 PP。例如He has an outgoing personality, and he makes friends wherever he goes. 他很外向，无论到哪里都可以交到朋友。好，有没有看到前后主词相同呢？我们省略连接词 and， 然后省略前半句的主词 he， 再把动词 has 改成现在分词 having， 那句子就会简化成 Having an outgoing personality, he makes friends wherever he goes. 第2个重点是 figure out， 它当及物用的时候是表达想出啊、找出或是理解的意思，像是 They haven't figured out how to solve the problem， 他们还没有想出要如何解决那个问题。那我们句子里面用到 how to 加动词来当受词，是表达说要如何怎么样怎么样。那么课文接着写到说，虽然空气造水以不同的形式存在，但最简单的一种就是类似除湿机啊或是空调，那这些机器就会透过把空气冷却，让这个空气当中的水分凝结，然后在收集用的面板上面来形成水滴。好，文中的 dehumidifier 就是指除湿机，那如果我们把字尾这个 IER 改成 Y 变成 dehumidify， 就可以表达除湿的意思哦，就会变它的动词了。接话课文中
Conserving water through new technology and lifestyle changes. Like all developing technology, AWG is a work in progress. Improvements are still being made so that AWG can be cheaper and more efficient. But for now, the best way we have to avoid another water shortage is to make sure we avoid wasting it.
All right, so humidity can be taken out of the air, and instead of just having it drip down the drain or pour it down the sink like you do with an air conditioner or a dehumidifier, maybe collect that water and then use it to drink or to put on our crops to grow plants and food with, use it in a much more useful kind of way.
Well, as we see, like all developing technology, AWG is a work in progress, meaning it's not yet completed, it's not yet perfect. We still have to do some developing of it. Improvements are still being made so that AWG can be cheaper and more efficient.
Oh, all right. A lot of times when we have new technology, we have to find ways to make it cheaper so it's not so expensive and more efficient so it just works better. You don't need a giant machine to do it. You can have a small machine that people can buy, put in their home or in their office building, something like that. But for now, we read the best way we have to avoid another water shortage or an even worse water shortage is to make sure we avoid wasting it. Yeah, we don't have this technology that will give us more water quite yet, so the water that we do have, we have to use it in a smarter way and not waste it. And part of that is being efficient with water.
Part of this technology is to make it cheaper, which is really important. People will use it if it's cheaper, but also more efficient. Efficient meaning working quickly and effectively. So you want something that's fast, but also gives you a good result. And these two things together is efficient. Julia showed her sister a more efficient way to pack luggage. Maybe she rolled up the shirts and fold the socks a certain way, and you can fit more into your luggage. And it's really important that this technology is quick, effective and efficient. Otherwise, why use it?
Exactly. It's not going to be something most people will be able to afford to do, or if it works really hard but it only gives you 5% more water, people probably won't choose to do it that way. So yes, making it affordable and efficient will make it successful. And that will be good for everyone. All right, guys, for now, go out there and save some water, right? Take a short shower or something like that. Make sure the taps are always off and not dripping all night long. And we'll see you tomorrow with more about conserving water through technology and lifestyle changes. Until then, bye-bye.
空气造水这一项科技还在发展，那有各种改良正在进行当中，要让这个技术变得更便宜而且更有效率。好，那么就目前而言，我们要避免另外一场缺水，其实最好的方法就是确保不要浪费水，每个人都省一点水，然后集结众人的力量，就可以省下很可观的水量了。文中的单字 efficient 就是形容有效率的、效率高的。那最后还有3个重点，第一个是副词片语 for now， 它表示目前暂时，像我们可以说 I think that's enough for now， 我想目前那样就够了，不用再多了啦。好，第二重点是 avoid， 后面是接名词或动名词，可以表达避免怎么样怎么样。例如 We'd better leave early to avoid rush hour traffic， 我们最好早一点离开，避免碰到这个尖峰时段拥挤的交通。第3个重点是 make sure， 后面接 that 子句，可以表达确保什么会发生，务必怎么样，其中的 that 可以省略，像是 She kept looking over her shoulder to make sure no one was following her， 她一直回头看，确保没有人在跟踪她。好，那么以上是今天的讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
Conserving water through new technology and lifestyle changes. As Taiwan's recent water shortage has reminded us all, water is the most valuable resource on our planet. We need it to drink, clean our bodies, grow our crops, and even build cars. Luckily, there's a new technology that might allow us to produce water from moisture in the air. You might be aware that our planet's atmosphere holds plenty of water moisture. It's this moisture that causes rain, humidity, and clouds. Using new technology called atmospheric water generation, or AWG, scientists have figured out how to actually take that moisture out of the air and turn it into water that is clean enough to drink. Although different forms of AWG exist, the simplest is similar to a dehumidifier or air conditioner. By cooling the air, these machines are able to make the moisture in the air condense to form droplets on a collecting surface. Like all developing technology, AWG is a work in progress. Improvements are still being made so that AWG can be cheaper and more efficient. But for now, the best way we have to avoid another water shortage is to make sure we avoid wasting it.
Giant balloons take to the sky every year in Taidong's Luye Highlands. It's the annual Taiwan International Balloon Festival. This year's festival runs from June 30th to August 13th. It's the longest hot air balloon festival in the world. A record 39 balloons are on display this year. There are both traditional round balloons and fun-themed balloons. Crowds are delighted by flying cartoon characters and mascots. The Highlands provide stunning scenery for the festival. Visitors can take in the amazing view as they soar above the ground. Some nights there are light and laser concerts. A flash of flame lights up each balloon to the beat of the music. At the Taiwan International Balloon Festival, you can see Taidong like never before.
See you next time!